Triple E EDC here, back again with another knife video. This is the 5 knives under $1,000. I believe Slicey Dicey started this. I apologize if I'm getting that wrong to the person who originally started it, but it is an open tag. Of course, I have less than 100 subscribers, so when I start an open tag, it doesn't really catch on, at least not yet. We'll see one day, maybe, hopefully. That's a cue to you if you're a new viewer to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. But in any event, this is 5 knives under $1,000, and the rules in general of this, as I understand them, are you have to be between $900 and $1,000, no exceptions, on the knives, and you have to have 5. You must have 5. You can't just have 1 or 2 or 3. There must actually be 5. So those are pretty much the rules. Personally, I also decided that for the purposes of this exercise, I would not include multi-tools. I know other people have done that, and that's great, but I decided for mine, I'm not going to include multi-tools, and we'll go from there. I am leaving it open to all the other types of knives that people generally will carry. In any event, I've got a bunch of you know how much I love my Iron Wolf, and I haven't done a video on it, but I do love my Benchmade Anthem. Spoiler alert for when I do a video. But I do love these 2 knives, and I believe all 5 of these would fit the criteria if you were to count them. However, these are actually not my 5 knives. So why do I have them here? To demonstrate a point. These 2, this ran something like $300 and change, and this is like a $450 knife. I really tried to stay away from knives that would dominate, because I have knives like these, the Ontario Rat 1 and the Boka Kalashnikov, that are great knives and they're hard use knives, but I don't really find myself carrying them much. I mostly keep them around the house and use them for hard use things. And so I wanted all 5 knives to be knives that I would actually carry. I enjoy having a rotation of knives that I sort of switch up every day, and you know, that sometimes have a different type of fidget factor as well. So, you know, I'm just going to put it out there that I tried to stay away from, and I know a couple other people actually specifically wanted to accommodate one large purchase out of the $1,000. I am specifically not doing that. Now, unfortunately, because I'm not doing that, I'm missing out on some absolutely fantastic knives. The Iron Wolf, which is probably one of my favorite knives. Absolutely smooth, buttery smooth action. Also missing out on Benchmade Anthem, as I said. Again, very smooth action. That's just some little schmutz. That's not actually a chip or anything. I'm also missing out on several of my favorites. I'm gonna put these 2 away just because I've sort of already covered them, but I'm also missing out on several of my favorite hard use knives. And you guys know I'm a fan of large knives and hard use knives, and so I'm gonna put 5 knives here, all of which would have been contenders if not for the fact that I was trying to keep the cost down. So, the Wii Chimera. This thing, the action on this, this bangs out like nobody's business when you deploy it. It's just absolutely fantastic. The ergonomics on it are great. I've done a video on it, so take a look if you haven't seen it. The Benchmade Contigo. This is in M390. This is the Knifeworks, or not, yeah, Knifeworks exclusive. I really enjoy this. This is actually one of my favorite knives, but if I'm only picking 5 knives, it's hard to take a knife with really just a ton of jimping like this and make that one of 5, despite the fact that I really, really love this. It also happens to be $200. This is $200 and change, I think something like $250. The Microtech Socom Elite. This thing also bangs out like nobody's business. Buttery smooth action. Whoop, once you get past the detent. and it is M390 as well. But this runs like 280, 290. So again, gotta stay away. The ZT-0562 CF. This thing also extremely smooth action. Really a very nice knife, but there are just some other ones that I would rather have, again, if I'm only picking 5 knives. The AD-10 I just posted a video about it. Gotta get used to that. The thumb studs are in a spot where I don't really get it out all the way. There we go. When I deploy it, there we go. I think I'm getting used to this. I really like this right off the bat. I haven't used it at length, so I haven't really gotten used to whether or not I really like it. So I can't really, this is sort of an inconclusive, but I have a feeling that it probably wouldn't have ended up on the list. So I lose out on those. I also lose out on, and I'm not going to go through my whole collection, but I just want to, you know, have a little point here. Things like automatics, out the fronts. Most out the fronts are pretty expensive. When you're looking at Microtech Ultratech or the Heretic knives, the Manticore X, or the Benchmade Infidel, all of them are going to run, you know, the high 200s to mid 400s, and again, we're trying to stay away from that price range. All right, so what did I pick? Well, let's go through and take a look. The first one that I picked is I don't know if that went out. I had a low battery thing pop up on my phone, but hopefully that didn't disrupt the video. This is the Manix 2, the Spyderco Manix 2 in CPM Cru-Wear with smooth carbon fiber scales. Now, this knife, I could have picked any other Manix, but they are all slightly different in price ranges. I really like the Cru-Wear version. I have several other versions, but this Cru-Wear version is an excellent, excellent version of the Manix, and it's only it's not available anymore. It was only $165. So the combination of the price with what you're getting is fantastic. The reason I picked this is it has several methods of deployment, Spidey Flick. It has the finger choil up top, really, really comfortable ergonomics all around. It's got full liners, even though there's, or I shouldn't say full liners, it's got skeletonized liners, but they come along the back of the carbon fiber to really make this feel like a stout knife, even though the skeletonization makes it feel somewhat light as well. And the fact that it has carbon fiber makes it somewhat light, especially for a Manix. I just really, really enjoy the Manix in general. I think you guys have seen I have several of them in all different sprint runs, but this particular one I'm going to go with as knife number 1. Knife number 2 is the Benchmade Bugout. Now, I surprised myself with this when I first got it. Well, before I first got it, I thought I would hate it. And when I first handled one, I didn't like it at all. It just got so much, you know, rave reviews. I figured I'll buy it, I'll give it a chance, and I'll sell it if I don't like it. So I went out and I bought it. I bought the Ranger Green one because I really liked the way it looked, more than the blue one, even though I actually like blue more as a color. But I just liked the way it looked a lot more. These are not the original scales. It comes with the Ranger Green Bribery scales, the plastic scales. These are the micarta scales. Now, the micarta scales are going to become important later, so let's just put this over to the side when we talk about price. For now, let's put this over here, and I'll just mention that the reason it makes the list is the blade stock is really skinny, it's really slicey, It is so light, so light. If you're only gonna have 5 knives, you have to have one that you can literally throw in any pair of clothes. It works as a backup knife. It works as a knife in basketball shorts, gym shorts while you're working out. It just is really fantastic because it can really be carried anywhere. Great as a summer knife. Next, I had to have a hard use knife. Now we ran some of the other hard use knives, some of the other hard use knives that I did not pick. So let's talk about the one that I did pick, the Spyderco Shaman. This is, now I've yet to do a review on this. I do plan to do one, but this is the S90V, CPM S90V, and carbon fiber version, also smooth carbon fiber. This is probably the priciest knife on the list. It's not probably, it is the priciest knife on the list. I tried to stay away from a lot of the higher end ones, and I thought about whether I should say that I would get, as part of this video, the S30V version, which runs around $200, but for an extra 80 bucks, you really get a very upgraded steel and carbon fiber, and I just really like this version. So if I'm gonna use something hard use, I do like the fact that it's S90V, and that'll just hold an edge for a while. The ergonomics on this are fantastic, really hand-filling. You know, when you're talking about a hand-filling knife, you know, the AD-10 definitely fits the bill, several others as well, but this thing is great. It works so well in just about, you know, in the multiple configurations that you can have. You can hold back here, you know, you can get if you want to take a whacking chop a little bit, you can hold back behind here, you can get up here, and you can really get a good grip with solid jimping. You can get up into the choil, and it really feels comfortable in the choil. It has the compression lock, which is a great lock. It works with spidey flicking, it works with thumb roll, it works with, you know, pretty much everything else, and it even, yes, can work with a front flipper. There's a trick to it. You can't just roll it out, and I'll cover that in the video, but you can front flip it, which is fantastic. So again, very nice, good fidget factor, and it's a hard use knife. That's really the main reason why it made it over the Benchmade Contigo, even though this is M390 and this is S90V. Both are great steels, and I really love the Contigo, but the extra little fidget factor on this, along with the fact that it's hand-filling and the premium materials involved, I just really like it. So what's next? Well, this is where the scales come in for the Bugout. If I went with the regular version of the Bugout with the Grivory scales, that's 140. So the 140 version would allow me to get a Benchmade 940. Now, I love the Benchmade 940, just quintessential EDC. This version, I have several versions, but this version of it is custom scales, but it is the original S30V blade. I don't know if you can see it. Oh. Come on, there you go. It's the original S30V blade, but it is custom scales. I don't have the original scales, but let's just have this as a stand-in for the green with the purple back aluminum scaled S30V version, which is about I believe it's about 180 bucks, 185 bucks. This would be my first choice normally among another Benchmade to pick. However, I am really liking the micarta scales. And the micarta scales run about 65 bucks, I believe, on GP Knives. I believe they're sold out at the moment, but they have off and on offered this package with, I think, without the original scales at $200. Now, that's a little pricey for a Bugout. I really do like this configuration. And if I get rid of the Benchmade 940, despite the fact that it is a great knife, if I get rid of that, and again, we've missed out on several good knives just because they didn't fit the price that we're trying to get here. And I miss out on the Benchmade Freak, which I also love, because this is, again, this is 190 bucks, just too much, doesn't fit the criteria. If I bring in the 550-1 full-size Griptilian with the sheep's foot blade, DLC coated, I believe I paid about $147 for this. It was on sale. The original price is a little bit higher, but since that's what I actually paid for it, I believe that I can use it. And if I use this as the stand-in, then I can get my micarta scale combination from GP Knives. So, 165, 200, 280, and a little under 150. So, you're at, let's see if I can do some math, 280, 480, 580, 645, 695, 795. So it's just under 800 bucks. Just under 800 bucks, about 795. So what is the last knife? Well, I'm all about the fidget factor, as I've told you before. And so the last knife has to be a butterfly knife. But butterfly knives are very, very expensive most of the time. So I can't, for this exercise, use a $500 and change Benchmade 87. Can't use a $400 and change Endura Nieves. I don't have any BRS Bellasongs. I keep missing the drops. They're too expensive anyway. Can't even use the Benchmade 63. So what am I using? Well, don't hate on the trainers. I am using the Squid Industries Squid Trainer. Is this a knife? I think it qualifies as a knife. Come on. It is about $190 when they're in stock. They come in stock about every Sunday or so, but they are usually out of stock during the week. But this is, it's aluminum scales, channel design, and the Squid Trainer version has the heat-treated blade. Yes, I know it's not really a blade. It's a trainer. But this thing is just a joy to flip. And, you know, when I'm dealing with, if I only have 5 knives, I got to have a rotation. All right, fine. I've got my 3 that I can generally rotate. I've got, you know, a backup or, you know, one that I can carry in the summer. Got plenty of fidget factor here, and then I've got just major fidget factor there. So that is my 5 knives under $1,000. I hope that everyone is well. I will say there was an honorable mention that I tried to make work even with everything, and I thought about subbing it in for the Shaman, but I just had to put the Shaman in, and that is the Phobos Knives Tier 1 Mini. This is a great fixed blade. I love carrying it. The choils are fantastic. Fit and finish is good. Convex grind. Micarta handles. Nice liners. It's a great knife. Honorable mention. Almost made it. And I didn't include a fixed blade, but if I'm only limited to 5 knives, I have to maintain the fidget factor. Sorry, fixed blade guys. All right, I kept it under 20 minutes. That means I rambled a lot, but also got my message across. Go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. Like the video, comment in the video, subscribe to the channel. Happy to hear from you guys. I'm also curious if you have another channel. I'm tagging you here. I have a couple of people who watch, the channel that I know have subscribed. Definitely, have you guys tagged. Why don't I just mention some names? I know Needs Knives. You guys go ahead and do one of these if you can. And I know Lugermonger's subscribers, so go ahead and do that as well. And I believe there's a couple others. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great, great day.